Okay, well, we're going to work on a bit of flexion, which means we're going to work on the front part of the body. So lying down on the floor. And when you get there, just spend however much time you feel like just getting a feel for what the body's like along the floor. So you do your full body scan. Okay, and remember that. Remember what's happening, especially in the lower back. Okay, so bringing your feet to standing. You're then going to bring your right hand. Then you're going to take that behind the head. And then you're going to take your left hand, and that's going to go behind the left knee. So from here, all we want to do is bring the elbows and the knees towards each other. Now, if they touch, they touch. If they don't touch, they don't touch. This is not about you forcing this movement. We're going to go as close together as they can with ease. So you're going to extra boundary points for it touching if you're forcing it. So you can do around between 8 and 10. Just think of that as a good rep range. And there's no magic in the rep range. The magic is in the movement, the intention. So you can do the same on the other side. So left hand behind the head and the right hand behind the right knee. Again, just bringing the elbow and the knee together. Not necessarily touching if it is not still in ease, if you're forcing it. That's not what we want. We don't want to pull the head so that you're feeling it through the neck or anything like that. And just have a think about how you're breathing too. So each time you've finished a set, you can relax and then have a feel for the spine, see how it's pressing up against the floor as well. So again, you can do that for as long as you feel. And then we're going to go right hand behind the head, and then you're going to go left hand behind the right knee this time. So it's same side, but the same aim is to bring the elbow and the knee close together. Again, whether they touch or not, it doesn't matter. It is not about forcing, no brownie points for getting them to touch. But we are just asking the front part of our body to relax, but also to work, but in a relaxed state. So we're not. There's just no force, no stretching. No stretching is required here. So we've got the same side on the left hand behind the head, but right hand behind the left knee, bringing that together. And again, after you've done a set, you then relax back down on the spine and feel what is happening to it now. How is it pressing on the floor? And even think about the legs and the shoulders and the head and the neck as well, not just the spine. So this time we're going back to the very first exercise of this time. You're actually going to add a variation, which is where you're going to turn the head around, so your head and eyes are looking around to the left. Okay, so the right hand's behind the head, left hand behind the left knee. You're bringing the knee and the elbow together, and you're looking your head and eyes around to the left. Then you'll swap that over, left hand behind the head, and then the right hand behind the right knee. And you'll bring the limbs together, looking your head and eyes around to the right. This is quite important that you do that. Okay. Resting down, have a feel for what's going on in the body. Are there any changes from the very first time? Are you feeling a difference between left and right? And then we go back to right hand behind the head and left hand behind the right knee. And same thing, we're going to turn our head and eyes around to the left as we bring the right limbs together. The right elbow and the right knee together. Again, if they touch, it's as long as it's with ease. If it doesn't touch, again, as long as it's with ease, you just stay in that range. So there's no forcing, no stretching. Do focus on your breathing. Are you breathing? Do you find you hold your breath? If you're holding your breath, breathe. If you're breathing out when you come up, bring the limbs together, or if you're breathing in when you bring the limbs together, don't judge it. Just keep breathing. Now visualize that you are doing it with both elbows and both knees at the same time, and spend as long as you need to visualize it happening. Okay, we'll be both hands behind the head, and then bringing both knees to standing, and then you're going to bring those two or the four limbs together. So visualize it as long as you can, and visualize the entire movement. Feel the spine, see what's happening in the body. And then when you're ready, you're going to do this physically. And let's see if you can mimic exactly what you had in your visualization. As you're visualizing it, were your knees and elbows touching? How were you breathing? What was happening with the spine as it moves against the floor? And then when you're done, just lying back down on the floor and have a feel from what's happening with the body. Do a body scan. See if it's different from left and right. See if you feel any difference in the lower back. And that small of the back. Do the shoulders feel like they're more broad and relaxed? And then, as always with these, popping up off the floor. And then have a feel of what that's like to walk around.